Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm doing a Master Duel Umi Kairyu-Shin deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an incredible deck to play on Master Duel because of our absolutely insane boss monster, Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like in your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin. This card is super easy to summon in the field because with a legendary Ocean, this card will become level 4, making it a really awesome normal summon. This card is absolutely incredible and is a walking floodgate because it has the ability while Umi is on the field, each player can only control one face-up non-water monster. And if a player controls 2 or more, they must send some to the graveyard so they only control 1, which is an absolutely insane floodgate effect. This card also is a searcher because during your main phase, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Umi, Kairyu-Shin spell or trap, or Sea Stealth spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is absolutely incredible. We then play 3 copies of Electric Jellyfish. This card is a really awesome card in the deck as well, because it lets you send an Umi from your hand, deck, or face center field to the graveyard to special summon a water monster from your hand, which is an awesome effect if you open up this card and your copy of Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin with no Umi in the hand, because you can normal summon this card out to the field, send a legendary Ocean from deck to graveyard off of this card's effect, then you special summon out Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin, and you can use his effect to be able to search out your copy of Sea Stealth attack. Set it to your side of the field, flip this during the opponent's turn, and then you can use this to put your copy that you sent to the graveyard of a legendary Ocean on the field, which is absolutely incredible. This card also is a walking negate because when your opponent activates a monster effect or a spell effect while you control Umi on the field, quick effect, you can negate that effect. Then you can make this card gain a permanent 600 attack and defense, which is absolutely insane. We then play 3 copies of Warrior of Atlantis. Warrior of Atlantis is a really good 3 of because you can discard this card to the graveyard to add a legendary Ocean from deck to hand, which is absolutely insane because we need to get to that card as quickly as possible so we can normal summon out Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin. We then play a single copy of Doom Kraken. Doom Kraken is a good 1 of in the deck. You only need a single copy of this card because you can float into this card over and over again, which is absolutely insane because if Umi's on the field, quick effect, you target a water monster that you control except a copy of Doom Kraken, and a monster that your opponent controls, special summon this card from your hand, and if you return your monster back to the hand, and if you do that, destroy the opponent's monster. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can return this card back to your hand, and if you do, negate the attack, which is a awesome fact to be able to use this card over and over again. And then play a single copy of Yoshiro of the Aqua. This card is a really good 1 of that lets you target a water monster in your graveyard and apply one of the following effects. If it has a level until the end phase of the turn, this card's level and name becomes the same as that monster, but the effect that we're going to use is if Umi is on the field, special summon that monster in defense position, which is an awesome effect to be able to use this card as a monster reborn. It also has the ability you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target a Umi in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is an awesome effect to be able to use on this card to be able to get your copy of a legendary Ocean back out of the graveyard because it always counts as Umi. We then play a single copy of Tremora. Tremora is a really good 1 of that we can search in the deck, that you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a water monster from your hand, like your copy of Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin, which is an awesome effect to have on this card. We then play a single copy of Mega Fortress Whale. Mega Fortress Whale is a good 1 of in the deck. You only need a single copy of this card and has the ability if Umi is on the field, you can activate this effect that your water monsters can attack directly this turn, which is an awesome effect to have on this card to let you be able to use your water monsters to attack directly. It also has the ability during your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it, which is an awesome effect if your opponent doesn't know about that effect and they declare battle phase and you pop a monster, which is super good. We then play a single copy of Gamma Seal. Gamma Seal is a searchable kaiju through Ice Barrier, which is really nice to deal with your opponent's boss monsters. And finally, we play a single copy of Giga Gaga Gigo. This card is a good 1 of that we can special summon off of Fish Sonar's effects or your copy of Dark Reef, which is why I play this card as a 1 of in this build. The reason I play this one over the level 8 is because if you have this card in your hand and you have a copy of a legendary Ocean on the field, it will become level 4, so you can normal summon this card to your side of the field, which is a really awesome effect. So That's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Sea Stealth 2. Sea Stealth 2 is a really good one of, because this card becomes Umi while on the field or in the graveyard, and your opponent cannot target water monsters you control with non-water monster effects. And at the start of the battle phase, you can special summon from your hand or graveyard one monster that mentions Umi or a water normal monster in defense position, but destroy it during the end of the battle phase, which is a pretty good effect to be able to bring back your copy of Mega Fortress Whale and put it on your side of the field. I then play a single copy of Pot of Prosperity, because Pot of Prosperity is at 1 in Master Duel, which is why I'm just playing this card as a 1-of, but we really don't use the extract all that often, so this card does come in handy to be able to dig into the deck for the exact card that we need. I then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is to stop the opponent from hand trapping us while we're going in for all of our really awesome plays, so this card is a definite 2-of in the build. I then play 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods is a really good 3-of to be able to send your copy of Ice Barrier from deck to graveyard, because this card can send any spell or trap that you need from deck to grave. I then play 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance is a great 3-of in the deck. You can play 2 copies since we are playing 1 copy of Prosperity, but this card is really good to let you draw 2 cards, especially since we don't use the extract all that often. We then play 3 copies of Fish Sonar. This card is the Rhoda from the deck, but Rhoda for this deck is broken. It has the ability that you get to add a level 7 or lower monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Umi or is a water normal monster. Then if Umi's on the field, you can special summon a water normal monster from your deck, which is absolutely insane. You just immediately get to your copy of Giga Gaga Gigo and special summon it to the field and search out your copy of Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin. I then play 3 copies of a Legendary Ocean. A Legendary Ocean is a really good 3-of in the deck that has the ability, this card's name is treated as Umi. Always, which is absolutely crazy that this card is Umi. And reduces the level of all water monsters in both players' hands and on the field by 1, which is super good because your copy of Kairyu-Shin is a level 5, so when this card is on the field, it becomes level 4, and we can normal summon it without tributing, which is really nice. It also has the ability that all water monsters gain 200 attack and defense, which can be a little bit helpful to help you go in for game. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier is a really good 2-of in the deck because you're going to send this card to the graveyard with your copy of Foolish Burial Goods. This card has the ability you can banish this card from your graveyard to send a level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add a water monster from your graveyard to your hand. Also, until the end of the next turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for water, which is not that big of a deal. But this card can search so many different cards in the deck from your copy of Tremora, Gamma Seal, Mega Fortress Whale, and can even search out Ocean Dragon Lord Kairyu-Shin. We then play 2 copies of Kairyu-Shin's Dark Reef. Kairyu-Shin's Dark Reef is one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck. This card is absolutely insane because you can send a face-up Umi that you control to the graveyard to special summon 2 monsters with different names from your hand or deck that mention Umi or are water null monsters in defense position. Then, if your opponent controls a monster, then you can special summon any number of level 6 or lower water null monsters from your hand or deck, and until the end of the next turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon anything but water, which again is not that big of a deal. This card is super good because you can summon out Giga Gaga Gigo off of its second effect, and you can use the effect to be able to summon out Kairyu-Shin and Mega Fortress Whale. We then play 2 copies of Sea Stealth Attack. Sea Stealth Attack is really good because it helps us get our copy of a Legendary Ocean back on our side of the field, because when this card is activated, you can activate 1 copy of Umi from our hand or graveyard. And while Umi is on the field, you can activate one of the following effects. Once per turn, you can banish a water monster you control, and until the end phase of this turn, face-up spell or trap cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, even if this card leaves the field. And at the start of the damage step, if your water monster, whose original level is 5 or higher, battles an opponent's monster, destroy that opponent's monster, which is absolutely crazy. We then play 3 copies of Dogmatica Punishment. Dogmatica Punishment is a really awesome tech card in this deck because we're not really using the extract all that much in this particular build. So this card comes in extremely handy to be able to pop a monster on the field while also sending a card like Elder Entity Nist to the graveyard to be able to get you an extra pop of your copy of Totally Awesome, to be able to grab a water monster back out of the graveyard, or even use your copy of Skull Knight to be able to pop a card later with this card, which is really awesome. So this card is a really good 3 in the deck, but it does lock you out from the extract for the turn you activate it and the following turn, which is not that big of a deal because, again, we're not summoning from the extract all that often with this build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Abyss Dweller. The entire extra deck is basically toolbox, so we're just playing one-ofs in the extra deck. So Abyss Dweller is a really good card to be able to just lock down the graveyard, so we're just playing a single copy of this card. One copy of number 4. Number 4 is a really good card to be able to pop a monster on the field and then do damage to the opponent equal to half that monster's attack points. This card is a little bit against your copy of Kairyu-Shin because all monsters on the field become water, so you kind of got to watch out for that a little bit, because if you put this card on the field, the monster your opponent controls is water, so they can keep summoning monsters because they keep becoming water, which your copy of Kairyu-Shin says they can only control they can only control one monster that's not water, so they will always control water. We then play a single copy of Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark is really good because we can basically detach a material from this card and then summon out Totally Awesome, which is absolutely awesome in this deck because Totally Awesome is a walking negate. We then play a single copy of Grand Pulse because a lot of our level 4s will become level 3, so we can make this card to pop spells and traps, which is a really good effect. One copy of number 47. Number 47 can attack the opponent directly, which can help you clean up games. So this card is a definite one-of in the build. Play a single copy of Double A Zeus, which is not a water monster, but it is a board wipe, so it's a definite one-of in this deck. Unfortunately, Double A Zeus is at 1. I would play this card at more than 1 because you can make it on top of any of your XZ monsters, but since it's at 1 in Master Duel, we're only playing the 1 copy. We then play a single copy of Coral Anemone. Coral Anemone is a walking monster reborn because you can target a water monster with 15 or less attack in your graveyard and special summon it to a zone that this card points to, which is a pretty good effect just to get a monster back on the field. And the rest of the cards are pretty much Dogmatica Punishment targets, which is a single copy of Wind Pegasus. This card can be banished from the graveyard to be able to target a card your opponent controls and shuffle it back into the deck. We play 3 copies of Elder Entity Nist. Elder Entity Nist, when it touches the graveyard, it will pop an additional card on the field with your Dogmatica Punishment, which is a pretty good effect to be able to pop additional cards on the field. Play a single copy of Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. Skull Knight is just like your copy of Elder Entity Nist, but you get to choose when you banish this card from the graveyard to be able to pop a card on the field, which is absolutely insane. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and a copy of Dragon Master Knight. The reason we're playing these 2 in the deck is just because they have extremely high attack points in the game, and they're also rares in Master Duel, so they're super easy to get a hold of, and they're really good for your copy of Dogmatica Punishment. Basically, from Wind Pegasus all the way over to your copy of Blue Eyes or your copy of Dragon Master Knight are all Dogmatica Punishment targets and just really good in the deck. The reason we play the copy of Dragon Master Knight as well is because it is 5,000 attack points, so it's really easy to basically pop any monster in the game with your copy of Dogmatica Punishment. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you do enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Umi Kairyu-Shin, you definitely should, because this deck is absolutely wild. I've been playing this deck a lot recently, and it's actually turning into one of my favorite decks I've ever played because it's really simple, because all you do is throw a copy of Legendary Ocean and put this on the field and back it up with all sorts of different cards. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.